But the most important thing is to get out all the air bubbles. If you have an air bubble when you're throwing and like your walls start to get thin and there's an air bubble in it, you're kind of screwed. So this stuff that happens before you even start throwing is in some ways the most important. So yeah, and then you smack it on and make sure it gets really stuck. Right now my wheel head is completely dry. If you, let's say you'd thrown a pot and it gets like, you know, whatever, you take it off and you start to throw a new one, your wheel head's going to be covered in water. You really need to make it completely dry like this with like a paper towel or a towel or whatever. If you have a little bit of water under this clay before you hit it on, you know, at some point during throwing, you might be throwing a perfect pot, but the bottom of it just won't be stuck to this and it can totally come out. And there's hardly anything you can do about that. So these little things before you get started are really important so that you don't have difficulties later. So now, get it going. See, I got my hands wet. Some people like to get their clay wet, like with a sponge and like dripping a bunch of water on it. I find that way you can get too much water. So what I always do, I just keep getting my hands wet. You basically just want enough water so that there's always water in between your hands and the clay. But you don't want to add so much water that you're turning your clay into just like, you know, nothing. You want it to be solid.